In this game, winners win, and I only back winners. Trainer Kenny McPeak is a proven winner, and his horses are in my portfolio. And now they can be in yours too. McPeak's champion horses and Derby hopefuls are now featured on Morning Line. With Morning Line, I don't just watch the race. I own the moment. I invest in champions. This is my edge. Buy, sell, trade, anytime. Morning Line. Own the game.
Hi everyone, David Aragona and Mike Beer here taking a look at one of 3 Kentucky Oaks preps that will be run around the country this weekend. Race 2 at Aqueduct is the Busher Stakes, going the 1 turn mile distance over the dirt course in New York. And Mike, got to think this is the Oaks prep that might have the least implications on the Kentucky Oaks. You can see from the field here, kind of disappointing. Only drew a field of 5 runners, and with that, it means that this race will have reduced qualifying points towards the Kentucky Oaks. It was supposed to offer 50 points to the winner. Now it's going to offer 37.5, and that's as long as this field holds together, because, Mike, there are a couple of horses that are cross-entered down in Florida, and there could be some shipping concerns with the weather that we've had in the New York City area, so remains to be seen if even this field of 5 is going to hold together.
Yeah, we might not even get the 5 in here. I guess as far as the 2 favorites are concerned on the Morning Line, David, they have to be pretty happy with the way this race shaped up. I'm not sure either one of them's that good. I won't argue that this is a good spot for them.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it would be worthwhile for a horse like Paradise to make the ship up from Florida, given the fact that it's a little easier to earn the points in this race than maybe one of the races down south. Well, Mike, let's take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector to see how this small field could sort itself out in the early stages. And both of those are Morning Line favorites. Both have early speed. The number 3 Paradise, she won her maiden race in gate to wire fashion last time. And Interstate Love Song is a horse that has shown speed sprinting. She'll be trying the mile for the first time, but I don't know if she's a horse that needs the lead, having drawn outside the other speeds in here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she doesn't. Yeah, she got a great post position here if they decide that they don't want to send for it. I still, when I look at the race, David, I still feel like if they wanted the lead, they could probably get it. I understand that Paradise just wired a field going a mile. That was a super slow pace that she was allowed to set that day. They're not going to go that slow in here.
Let's go through this field from the rail out, beginning with the number 1 Nycon, and one trainer willing to support the Busher Stakes is Whit Beckman, who won it last year with Drexel Hill. Thanks for our producer Lucia reminding me the name of Drexel Hill. I was trying to pull that up before we started recording. She did go on to place in the Kentucky Oaks, so it worked out for Whit Beckman last year. He's entered 2 in this race, and the more high profile of his runners is the number 1 Nycon, who's coming off a 2nd place finish in the Cash Run down at Gulfstream Park, going the same 1 turn mile distance. Mike, I liked the visual of her maiden win 2 back at Churchill. I don't love the field that she was beating. When you look at field up in Formulator, it seems like a bunch of horses that are destined for maiden claiming races. But she did improve her speed figure last time, kind of battling on between horses. She seems like a bit of a work in progress, but the lack of pace in this race seems like it could work against her most of all.
Yeah, it could. I just wish she ran better. I know she missed in a photo there. I wish she ran better in the Cash Run last time. I'm sort of with you. Her maiden win, I just really liked it. I know it wasn't a fast race. I thought she looked really good winning it, and I was glad at the time that it didn't get much of a figure, because I saw her entered in the Cash Run, and I was just like, she won't take that much money, and I'm betting this, or she's good, and I bet her in the Cash Run. And I don't know how she didn't win that race, David. She had every chance to win. And not only did she get run down at the wire, she got run down with the longest shot on the board. Was very disappointed in her last race, and it makes me not want to bet her back in this spot.
She's got a pedigree to keep getting better over time. This is a Phipps female family. Her 2nd dam is My Flag. 3rd dam is Personal Ensign. So she's supposed to want to go longer. It's only the 1 turn mile here, but we'll see if she could take another step forward. The number 2 Current Yield, she's coming in with a lot to prove, but going out for one of the top barns on the circuit, Chad Brown, Klarovich Stables. This is a horse that got her maiden win on debut at Tampa Bay Downs in late January. We'll take a look at the replay of the stretch run. And Mike, speaking of maiden fields that didn't come up that strong, I don't think there was a whole lot behind Current Yield in this race, but at least you had to like the way that she took some challenges on the far turn. She kept finding more on the front end. It was only a 58 buyer in victory, and even that number looks a little generous when you look at the field that was behind her this day. But a vote of confidence does come from Chad Brown, even entering her in this race, because he was initially intending to run a different Tampa Bay Downs maiden winner, and he was saying he worked this horse with that one, and this horse worked better than he expected, so that's why he entered her instead.
All right, that's probably a good sign for it. So yeah, I'll keep with the theme that we were just talking about with the rail horse too. Kind of glad this horse didn't get much of a figure first time out. I thought she ran really well in there. I'm not, listen, maybe it was just a bad field and she just happened to, fall into the right kind of situation to win, but they had to send her from the rail. She took on, it's not like she just got loose on the lead in there, David. She took on challenges, several different challenges throughout the race. And she just kept putting horses away and was clear under the wire. And she's another filly, by Nycon. She has a ton of pedigree on the bottom to suggest that she can stretch out a little bit. I don't know, man. I'll stay positive on her for one more race.
The horse that I pegged as the morning line favorite is the number 3 Paradise. She's a horse who ran pretty well on debut at Churchill Downs last year. She got a wide post. She ranged up on the far turn, couldn't get to the winner, but I like the way that she kept trying gamely all the way through the wire that day, going 6 furlongs, kind of finishing like a horse that you thought would appreciate some added ground. She did in this race that we'll take a look at last time out when she broke her maiden at Gulfstream Park. Now, Mike is totally right to point out earlier that she got away with some pretty soft fractions early in this race. She took a challenge from the horse that actually finished right behind her in that Churchill race, Betty's Pearl on the far turn. You could see her. She's turning away that gray horse at the top of the stretch. And I like the way that she finishes through the wire, clearly getting the 1 mile distance. And Mike, of the horses that we're talking about coming out of maiden races, I mean, she's the one that seems like she faced the best field. She won convincingly. So just feels like Brad Cox has found a pretty good spot if he decides to ship her up.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that stuff. I'll just say that's the only thing that I like about her is that this field just isn't any good. And so maybe he found the right race for her. But personally speaking, David, I don't like either of her races. I did not think that she ran that well on debut. I know she was a little wide early and had to make a move on the turn. I thought she had dead aim on the horse on the lead in the stretch of that race, and she just didn't make up any ground in there. And I, personally don't think Music Burst, the horse that won the race, I don't think that horse is that good. So I thought that was disappointing. I just can't give her any credit for winning that race at Gulfstream last time. They just let her walk on the lead. Everybody, we only showed you the stretch run. I guess you can go back and watch the full replay. Everybody took a hold out of the gate in that race and just let her go 25 to the quarter. She's just walking without any pressure. And I wasn't that impressed with her stretch run either, even after an early lead. I don't know, man. She'll probably win here at a short price. I don't like this horse.
She is one of 2 cross-entered in the Devona Dale on the Fountain of Youth undercard at Gulfstream Park on Saturday, so we'll see where they ultimately decide to run. The other horse cross-entered in the Devona Dale is the number 4 Blazing Brat, who's probably going to be the biggest price of the horses in here. She is the other runner for Whit Beckman, a new acquisition by this trainer. She went through the auction ring in early January, sold for $100,000, coming off a second-place finish in a stakes race for her prior connections at Tampa Bay Downs last time. Like, I think the horse that beat her, Sneaky Good, is actually okay, and this one finished well behind her. My question with her most of all, though, is whether or not she's going to get better with added distance, because I look at her pedigree and I watch her run, and to me, both things just say sprinter.
Yeah, I'm worried about that stuff too. I think we should point out, David, she's the other one, as you said, entered in that Devona Dale. Devona Dale's way tougher than this. I'd be shocked if they elected to run her in that race, but maybe they won't want to ship to New York. This is a better spot for her. I thought her first start on dirt last time was pretty good. I mean, she didn't have some kind of big excuse in there, but she was running through the stretch. She was clearly second best in there. She'll be a huge price in this race, facing a field that, just might not be that good. I could use her somewhere.
Yeah, Whit Beckman did say he wants to come to this race. He's just a little concerned about travel restrictions around the snow that we got in the New York City area. He wanted to come on Tuesday. We'll see if they ultimately did ship. The number 5, Interstate Love Song. She's coming off the best buyer in this race by quite some ways when she earned an 87 for a narrow loss in the Ruthless, the local prep for this, going 7 furlongs. We'll take a look at the stretch run of that race. And Mike, as somebody else who handicaps the New York circuit day in and day out, I'm sure that you're aware, like I am, that February 6th was one of the day in a 2-week period where there was just a significant rail bias at Aqueduct. And Interstate Love Song, like the winner of this race, they were the 2 that spent the most time on the rail, and kind of wonder if that's what inflated the speed figure so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of have to look at it that way. We'll show you the stretch right now. And unfortunately for Interstate Love Song, her rider did give up the inside to the eventual winner here, and it winds up costing her at the end. She's dead game here. She duels this horse to the wire, and she's just going to get out finished at the end. But yeah, she was, even though she's off the rail here, she was with that good rail for a lot of this race, and it does feel like it probably inflated the figure. Her first 2 starts were fine. She ran well in here. And again, she's another horse who just, more than anything else, she lands in a really good spot here.
I think we both want to see that fig duplicated because for the winner, it was a career best by 16 points. For this horse, it was a career best by 18 points. Just want to see that validated in this spot. Let's go to our picks for this Butcher Stakes. And as we do, want to let you hear a word from our sponsor, Morning Line.
This video is sponsored by MorningLine.io. Old school ownership locks you in with fees, markups, and no exit. Morning Line offers a modern alternative, licensed access to elite racehorses with flexibility to buy, sell, or trade anytime. No ongoing costs. Only on MorningLine.io. Back to the preview.
You can see our picks up on the screen for this Butcher Stakes. And Mike, I'm not getting creative. I've got the number 3 Paradise on top. Kind of hope she does ship up for this race. Kind of hope that all of the Florida shippers come for this race, because if we lack them, I think Interstate Love Song is going to win in a walkover. But Paradise, I liked her maiden win more than it sounds like you do. She's supposed to get a good trip in here. Like I said, not creative. You've got a more interesting horse on top of the number 2 current yield.
Remains to be seen how interesting it is, actually. It might just be a little bit of a prayer here. My take on this race, David, is I don't like the 2 favorites. I just don't think either one of them are that good. And they're just going to be they have to be such short prices in here. If I'm betting the race, I'm betting somebody else. If I'm being honest, I wanted it to be Nycon. Again, I really like this horse's maiden win, and I'm too disappointed in her cash run to go back to her in this race. So I had to take somebody else. I'm going to take current yield and just hope that I believe she ran better than the figure suggests on her debut. I'll hope I'm right about that.
2-1-4-3 for Mike and 3-1-5-2 for me in this Oaks Prep taking place early on the Gotham Saturday card at Aqueduct. Good luck if you're playing the races this weekend.